Right, here in Kilmore, and I thought we'd get a bit of a French flair about tonight's interview. James Herbertson, hello mate.
Hello, Bully.
Welcome back.
It's good to be back.
Back from France just recently. How was the experience, mate?
Yeah, it's good. It's a big eye-opener. Goodbye in terms of training facilities. Unlike anything you've seen in Australia, it's pretty much just a village dedicated to living and training horses. And it was Vincennes was like what you see on the TV. Doesn't give it any credit really. The grandstand is massive and the tracks are quite different to what we're used to here, and that was a big eye-opener.
Did you get to drive at Vincennes?
Yeah, I warmed a couple up and then drove in the international race, and it's on a 50-1 pop. I ran 5th, so I was happy enough with that.
Did you get to look at some of those other tracks? That's the one thing, a couple of drone footage and that, it just blows my mind, these tracks, inside tracks and outside of the tracks.
Yeah, when I was warming up the horses, we were using the outside track, which has got the downhill part around the turn, then back uphill. So that was quite different.
Race on that?
Yeah, they do quite a bit, yeah. Probably majority of their racing on that, actually.
Yeah.
It was quite different, driving a trotter downhill at quite high speed. And then, they got the main track, the 1,000-metre track inside that. And, the transition from one to the other is quite smooth, and, it's incredible, really.
You have a love of trotters. Your first Group 1 winner was a trotter. I still remember that. Do you remember that?
I remember that.
But, I suppose it wasn't your first gate, if you like. I mean, Dad's never been that keen on them. Did it spark a bigger interest, if you like, in the trotters?
Yeah, well, his thought was always he's got enough grey hairs, he doesn't need any more. So
I got none.
But, we've got one now, and, yeah, she's a bit different than what I drove over there. The horses over there, they're like the paces here. They're just very clean-gated, and, they've got the few that are a bit silly and a bit mad, but overall, especially where I was at the stables there, the horses were very well mannered and on the ground. And I think I have a bit of a different opinion on the French trotters now, because you don't really get to see them. We've only seen Call Me the Breeze, who was one of the best horses over there, come over, and he's been perfect, but you don't see the rest of them. And they've got their mixed bag, but there's not too many there that you wouldn't train, especially where I was, seeing the horse that were racing at Vincennes. It's their winter meet at the moment, which is probably their more predominant meeting of actual meetings. They call it a meeting, but it's just a big group of meetings in a period of time, and over the winter and coming into the Prix d'Amérique. So you're not seeing the lower class horses, you're seeing a lot of nice horses. So yeah, there's plenty of very well gated horses.
Yeah, a couple of things, like when you were just saying that, I know if you watch late night Sky Channel and that, a lot of the time they've got the cars that follow around and DQ them. You only had the one race drive, but how did you find that? And did you think that's something that could potentially have a place here in Australia?
Yeah, well, I don't mind the idea of disqualifying when they do break gate, because the idea is to trot. You have to trot to win. So seeing the gate follow you during the race was a little bit different. I looked across once just early, just to sort of have a look and see what was going on. And there had been one that had galloped. I think Doug McNair's one galloped, and he was disqualified. And I was like, oh well, that's one less. And So
what do? They pipe a number up out the window
and call it out. Yeah, driver and the number and the horse. So I don't mind it, actually. Yeah,
it's different.
Yeah, it's different, but it means you got to trot to win. Plain and simple, you can't afford to be doing anything wrong.
Do people object to it?
No, I don't think they've got a choice. I think it's just pretty clear cut. As soon as they call it, it's done.
Crowds, people, the love of the horses over there. Did you enjoy that part of it?
Yeah, the crowds were quite good. Admittedly, we weren't there on a big meet. But there were still quite a few there, and a lot upstairs. I didn't go upstairs the night I raced, but there looked to be quite a few up there.
It's an amazing place to go to the France and that. Did you get to do some of the touristy things?
Yeah, I did quite enjoy being a tourist. Going into Paris was a big eye-opener in terms of how old it is. And
Dad's just walking past.
A few grey hairs there too. Yeah, it was, the city, the country is just that old. You don't see that here in Australia. We're 250 years old if we're lucky. So, the architecture and the history, there's a big stone monolith sort of thing in the centre of Paris that the Egyptians brought over. like hundreds and hundreds of years ago. It's just mind-blowing. So I'm a bit of a history buff, so I really enjoyed that part.
Well, that's where I was going to, my next question. So yeah, so that did strike a chord with you.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it, and I'd love to go back and just be a tourist again and spend more time in the museums and having a look through, because it's quite incredible.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You'd love to go back as a driver, get taken back there as a driver, drive in a few races, and I'll do a bit of touristy stuff along the sides. How's that sound?
Either. But no, either way, it was great in terms of being a tourist. Was great. Yeah.
Did you learn from it?
It's hard because of the language barrier, but you do take things away, in terms of the way they get different gear they use, and that I brought back a couple of things, and different shoes. You didn't really see too much in that respect, but yeah, it was hard to pick things up, but you do pick up a few things.
Yeah. What about the pole? Did you have one of those poles that moves? Because that's actually one thing I reckon we should be allowed to do here.
Oh, absolutely. I'm a big advocate for that. The gating poles on the bikes, and all the bikes have them. And I didn't have to use mine. Mine was pretty well gated, and steering-wise, it was quite good. They were all claimers, so they were doing everything pretty well right. But yeah, I'm a big advocate for that. I think it's a thing that we need to bring into Australia. I think in a way it makes it safer, because the horses aren't going sideways or doing things wrong, so that risk of things going wrong is less. But yeah, I'm a big advocate for that.
What about the rest of the season? You and I chatted halfway through the season. I'm going to put my hand up and say I'm the person that got you going, because I suggested why not have a crack at it. You're going past 400 off the radar now, or?
I think so. We're only 3 weeks from the end of the year, probably a little bit less. So I think we just clicked over 350 yesterday. So yeah, I think that's well and truly out of reach. But it's been a massive year, and it's full credit to the owners and the trainers and the horses that been turning up every week and racing so well and making my job quite easy. A lot of the time, I'm able to put them into the race, and makes it easy when you're able to do that.
Question then, 400 winners or a couple more overseas trips? Which one do you want?
A little bit.
Good question, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit of both, maybe. I don't know.
You can't have a little bit of 400.
Yeah, look, if I was able to go to Sweden or America, where that language barrier is a little bit less, I'd probably rather go there than worry about the numbers. There's races on here every day, and the opportunity to go over there doesn't come around every day. So I think you have to be a little bit realistic there, Paulie. But yeah, look, it's been a great year and been very fortunate, and hopefully we can keep the ball rolling.
Yeah. All right, mate. Well done. Thanks for joining me. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and all those things. Good luck with wherever you finish at the end of the year. It doesn't matter. It's been a magic year, great achievement. We've done a few of these wraps. I actually can remember sitting at Bort under the tree after you drove your 100 for the 1 year, and I hope that wasn't that long ago.
No, it was a little while ago. It's been a little while. I'm sorry, but it's been great, and you've sort of been there every step of the way, and even from a young fella. So things.
I could tell some stories, but we won't.
No, we'll leave that there. But no, you've been there all the way through, and hopefully I'll get to keep talking to you about positive things going forward.
All's good. We won't worry about that. We won't worry about that peanut walking past, so will we? No. He does a good imitation, though. Have you ever seen him imitate anyone?
No. The amount of stuff I say, Paul, you forget half.
James, thank you very much.
Merry Christmas, Paul.
Same to you, mate. Well done.